Hi, this is theMCGuiRE Review, and we're going to be taking a look at Melee. This is actually a really cool game from Indie Boards and Cards. It was released, I believe it was the earlier part of this year, might have been late last year. I actually got this in a Kickstarter. It's a 2 to 4 player game, 14 plus on this one, although it's pretty straightforward. There are quite a few little nuances in the rule set. We're going to be using our book as a guide today. And we got a play time of about 20 minutes. So it's a pretty quick one. Definitely a beer and pretzels type game. We'll go through the components here really quick. So the first thing we're going to look at is that there's this seasons card, right? And as you go through the rounds of the game, there's 4 rounds in the game, 4 seasons. And the premise of the game is to basically occupy as many of these little provinces, and I'll show this board. There's actually quite a few different little setups here. If you have 3 players, it's the top, 2 players, it's the bottom, and if you have 4 players, there's one larger side on the other side of the board here. So it's kind of broke up in different different ways depending on how many players you have playing. And you'll notice there's various sections on the board here. Those are provinces. And what you want to do before at the end of our 4 seasons is control more provinces than anyone else. That's one way to win the game. Second way to win the game is before the 4 seasons are up, obviously as well. You got to take over somebody's castle, and there's a couple different ways you can do that. The castle always has its own defense, and you'll see like as you choose your various color and you get different knights and warriors, you can place those knights and warriors in those castles and those various provinces, and you got to take out the knights that are there, and you got to take out the castle. So the castle always has its own defense mechanism. You're also going to have a first player card. This is actually really important. There's actually a phase in the game that every time you start off the first phase in each round, you're actually going to bid secretly on this card, and this one is very important because if you have this, it could be very, very good for you that round. There's a lot of strategy in being able to be the first player for each round. And next thing we're going to have is what we call our action cards, and you can recruit, you can tax, you can move and attack. So these are different actions that you're going to take when it's your turn, and you will secretly select one of these and put it face down. And you're going to reveal that as well as your opponents will, and then you'll take that action. You'll go in that order based on who has the first player card. So again, if it's really important for you the next round that you need to move and attack, and you got to be the first one to do that. You better trick someone else on the bidding when you do the blind bid for the first player card. And it's a fun way that you do that. You put a certain amount of money in your hand, and someone else has to guess how much money is in your hand. So it's a pretty funny kind of thing, you know, and everybody can always see how much gold you have. So you kind of take it under the table, and it's kind of the guess of how much are they really going to put in their hand and how much they really want that first player card. So it really comes down to just simply a guess. So it's pretty fun. Then the last set of things that we have here is this is the special actions deck. And these are all various special actions in the game that you can take. I'll read a couple right here. Armor, enemy, movement, and attack. Your soldiers cannot be attacked within a choice of 1. So one spot your soldiers can't be attacked. Rapid assembly. You can recruit a catapult and attack with it on the same turn. So just various different special actions that you can take. And when the game starts out, you're going to put out a certain number of those actions, and you're going to actually bid on those at the very beginning of the game. So we take a look at the book here. Pretty straightforward, nice color book. Just a few pages in it. But again, there's quite a few little nuances in the rule set, so you want to make sure that you pay attention to the book and you do read it in entirety. I'll go through real quick here the setup. You're going to select the proper board based on the number of players. Each player then chooses a color and receives the items for that color. So you get your colors here. You're going to take all the recruits of your color, and that's going to be 10 units. You're going to take 3 different action cards. Those are action cards here, which was the recruit, tax, move, and attack. And you're going to get 15 gold coins, which is always available for everybody to see how many that you have. All right, that's going to set us up, And then what we're going to do is go through a preliminary drafting phase. And this is interesting. This only happens at the very beginning of the game. There's 3 different things you can do, and it's going to go round and round and round until everybody hits the basically I pass, I'm done. First thing you can do is recruit a unit in their lands. So you can pay some gold, recruit units, and start to put those units in various provinces within your area of the board. You can bid on a special ability card. So you're going to have the special ability cards out in front. You can put some money and bid on those cards. Let's say there's one that you really want. So you can put those out and bid. Or, again, you can pass. And, again, once you pass, you're done out of this preliminary bidding phase. So once you pass, no matter how early, no matter how late, you're done, right? It's not just pass for that round. It's pass, I'm done. Okay? All right. So when it's your turn, what's basically going to happen is you're going to go through 5 phases of the game. First phase, you're going to auction the first player card. So, again, that's where you put that money in your hand. Someone has to guess how much coinage is in your hand, and you can either get that first person card, or if they guess it, you don't get it. All right, you simultaneously pick an action card, so everybody picks one of their different types of actions. You keep that face down, hidden. Everyone then is going to simultaneously turn those over, and again, whoever's got the first player card is going to go first, and then it's going to move to their left. Okay, we're going to then do income. So there's various spots on the board that actually will give you income. There's also various spots on the board, I'm not going to explain them all, that will allow you to have some special actions with catapults and whatnot. There's certain areas that will allow you to fire the catapult a little farther than you normally would be able to do. And then at the very end of that game phase, you're going to change your season, and they do include a nice little 8-bit season coin to go with those, and you're going to move through your 4 seasons. And then basically you're going to start that round over with bidding on that first player card. So let's get into what I liked, and I'm going to go with the art. The art is pretty neat. And, you know, quite frankly, it's kind of a 2-for-1 on this one. It's the 8-bit art. I'm a sucker for the games with the 8-bit art. I don't know why. I just think it's really fun. It's really cool. It reminds me of the old school 80s games I always used to play. And then it's easy and it's fun. You know, the rule set's really easy. Again, there's a few little things that you're going to have to read this rule book for just to make sure that you're actually moving properly and you're taking the right actions with some of the various things like the catapults and the camps that are in the game. But it's a great game. You know, Indie Boards and Cards did a great job with this. Really like it. This has been the McGuire Review. We'll see you guys later.
Shit.
I forgot to do what I like.